Welcome to biology class. We are in animal phyla, different animal phyla, and the first phylum here it is phylum Porifera. The members of the phylum commonly they are sponge. Okay, they are marine, asymmetrical. So symmetry that we have got. They are primitive multicellular animals. Their cellular level of organization, already you know that it is discussed, the cellular level of organization they are having. Sponge have a water transport canal system. Okay, their body design is very simple. They are having the only one system in their body, that is called canal system. Now we are going to discuss that what is canal system. Here the body is having pore, that is why name is porifera, pore bearing. So that the pore, water enters through that minute pore, that is called ostia. Singular it will be ostium. And the big central cavity is spongiosal, and big size of that hole on the top, that is called osculum. So if we can see this small video, then we can able to understand that actually what it is. Look at here the sponge here. You can see that there's a small hole here. This is called the ostia. Ostia, here this spongiosal is big cavity, and the osculum it moves out. Okay. So I think just now you have seen this one, that how water moves inside and it goes outside through osculum. So the advantage here, this canal system. In that canal system, they are doing the respiration, they're gathering the food, they're excreting things, they're moving it out. Everything, transport, everything they can do. Okay. So now come here in the body. Inside the body, what actually they are having. So if I take this one. Look at here. Already it is told that they are cellular grade, and the cells, which cells, suppose here archaeocytes, here the pinacocytes, here the colloid cells, choanocytes. These are the cell. Already it is told that the cells are separate. Cells does not form any tissue. So they are having the separate function. See that the colloid cell in your book, this term is that the choanocyte, which is the colloid cell, which is there. There are some other cells also there. That is the pinacocytes. It is an epithelial layer. It is there. A choanocyte cell, it is helps in digestion. Some other archaeocytes, it forms. Sex cells it can form. So they are having the different cellular structure. Now another thing, look at here, the body is supported by the skeleton made up of the spicule and the spongin fiber. So body covering, what kind of body covering is there, that from that you can able to understand. Sponge skeleton. Okay. Look at here, the sponge is made up of the calcareous and siliceous spicule. Spicule means that the spine leg structure. You can see that the spine can be the two end is there, one end is there, three end is there, 4 is there. Siliceous, made up of silicon, made up of calcium. Okay. So these are the tough, rigid, and it is they can protect their body. The spicules, the hard calcium carbonate, like limestone teeth. Okay, And the spongin fiber, it is not very hard, it is also the protein fiber, it's a little bit flexible, and it can form its skeleton. So you can see that spongin fiber, it is not, no end is there, it is just one network like structure, and if it is the spicules, it is having the end. Okay. In reproduction of sponge porifera, sexes are not separate, they are hermaphrodite. Eggs, it means eggs and sperms are produced in the same individual. So same individual they can form the egg, same individual they can form the sperm. That is the hermaphrodite. This term I think you know that. Sponge, it reproduce asexually, also asexual reproduction by budding, fragmentation, it is possible. Now when they will fertilize, see that here I can show you that here the one collar cell, the specialized collar, modified collar cell, is engulf that the sperm cell, and then fertilization takes place. After fertilization, here that larval stage, small embryo, and the larval stages is there. Larva settle attached to the bottom of the surface. You know that the sponge, it is sedentary, it is attached to the surface in substratum. Then new sponge will grow. So larval stages is there, and this larva is morphologically distinct from the adult. See that the larva and the adult, it is different. Okay, so that is about sponge. Here is some example that we can see. Cycon, this is a cycon, that Euspongia and the spongilla. These are the example which is there in your book. Next phylum, Coelenterata, also called Cnidaria. Nowadays the name has been changed into Cnidarian. Okay, they are aquatic, they mostly marine, they sessile and free swimming. What is this? Sessile, it means fixed. Suppose this is the substratum, and this animal is fixed here. No locomotory organ, they are not moving throughout their life. So this type of available, also free swimming, which can swim freely. That also they are diploblastic. That you add this one. Radial symmetrical. I think you can understand. This is radial symmetrical. You can cut several plane. The name the Cnidaria, that we can see that why the Cnidaria name is given. Next, the name given to the Cnidarian due to that nidoblast cell. This nidoblast cell, you can see that nidoblast cell having a nidocell, and here one structure, one trigger here. You can see that the trigger like structure, like this type of structure, which is just like this trigger can switch it on. I think you know that in seashore, if you touch a jellyfish, whether it is dead or alive, then there is a chance that the nidocell enters inside our body. If you by chance press this trigger, so that is why it is advised not to touch this jellyfish. This is the sting-like structure, which enters inside the body. This nidocell and nidoblast cell, this cell is called the nidoblast cell, the nidoblast nidocytes. So this is the characteristics of, that is why the name so. All right. So here also we can see one small video that where we can see this one. See, this is the nidoblast cell, that the nidocell, which is normally it is coiled, but if anyone will trigger it, then it is it goes like needle, then it goes erect and inside the needle. All right. Next, digestion. Digestion is extracellular and intracellular, that you have to understand. Look at here the digestion in Cnidarian. So extracellular and intracellular, what does it mean? Look at here the digestion. Digestion, when any gut is there, suppose in case of human being also, the gut, here is a cross section of the intestine, and here it is the gastrovascular cavity of the Cnidarian. When food is there, food is not enters inside the cell. Food is found outside the cell. From the cell, enzymes secretes and food digest. Okay. This is called extracellular digestion. But in some cases, in lower organism, that food enters inside the cell, and here digestion takes place inside the cell. So inside the cell is intracellular digestion. So they are having both type of digestion, intracellular and the extracellular type of digestion. In this group, coral is there, and the coral having the skeleton, hard skeleton, calcium carbonate. Okay. Now come here on the one of the important part here about Cnidarian. The Cnidarian exhibits two basic body form, polyp and medusa. We have to see that. The former is the sessile and the cylindrical form, and the polyp, it is sessile. It means that it is fixed, and medusa, it is free swimming, and whereas the later umbrella sept and free swimming. Okay, and how they are exhibits the alternation of generation, which is also called the metagenesis, that we have to see next part of it. To complete its life cycle in Cnidaria shows the two different body forms. The one is polyp, another is medusa. See that the polyp which is fixed, and a polyp is having the structure. You can see that the here like hydra in that the gastrovascular cavity. Here also that it is almost same than jellyfish. Okay, so polyp form and the medusa form, it is there in their life cycle. If we can see this part this way, look at here this. Now this is the Obelia geniculata. In Obelia geniculata, this is the fixed form. So here it is formed. So looks like almost like plant, transparent body, and here the different zooid they can form. Different zooid, like gastrozooid, which is formed for the digestion, gonozooid for the reproduction. So different zooid they form. Zooid means that some structure, okay, so which helps in the difference process. So you can see that the outgrowth. Now suppose this is the for the reproduction. So from that the medusa will form, the medusa. So from that the medusa, it will be much smaller than this. The medusa, there are two different types. See that the medusae, it means that the plural, the medusa, one is male, another is female. It means the male reproductive structure they are bearing. So from the male and from the female, here the zygote will form, and you know they are free swimming, so they can swim, and after that they can release the egg and sperm, and here the larva will form. The name of the larva is planula larva here. Then this larva, from the larval stage, the new ovelia can form. So this is its life cycle. When they are forming that polyp and medusa, this is called the polymorphism. Means many types of looking. And this alternation of generation is known as metagenesis. The metagenesis, it means that already in alternation of generation, you can see in the bryophyte, pterophyte, where the haploid and diploid generation and altered. So, but here it is. Here haploid diploid generation is not. Here this is also diploid. This is also diploid. And only in case of sperm and ovum, that is only haploid. Other all diploid. It means that diploid and the diploid generation, it is altering. So this is known as metagenesis. Okay, and here's the example. Example you can see in your book, the Physalia, Gorgonia, that Pinnatula. Pinnatula, it is in laboratory. You can see that. So from that, what we have learned that this phylum, it is having tissue level of organization, presence of nidoblast, exhibits polymorphism, and its digestion is intracellular and extracellular types. That's all about this two phylum. So you have to prepare in this way. Thank you.